Look, we're stuck in the system, we can't get out. It's time for a change, stop running your mouth. I'm looking for words, but I can't get it out. Look for the light, but the sun blotted out.
Hold on, let me hop on the beat. Cause social injustice and prisoner mindset is something we gotta defeat. We idle these hoes and wear all these clothes with shoes that can't be creased. Steady looking for substance and change, but we searching all up in these streets.
Got a stain on my shirt that I can't get out. My people on high like the top of the mount. We thirsting for truth, but there's no spout. Look for a savior, but no one around.
But no one's around, but where do they look? It ain't in the church, it ain't in the book. We can't get a job, so we rather crook. They got us in chains, a fish on the hook.
Look, harvesting not bodies, harvesting not organs. Got 'em real big mad, cause they culture boring. Pimping the poor, Jim Crow at the door. Selling our souls, our daughters a whore. I wanna give in, can't take it no more. Don't wanna believe our people are more.
We swept our cup when we look at decline. We got a new bottle, it's filled with...
All right. So, welcome to another episode of, Make a Culture Move here with the Macam crew. My name is Tabitha.
I'm G. Mark
running late.
Yeah, he's on his way.
Color people time. P up. I don't know how you say it. Anyway.
But there was an accident on the highway, so.
PT time. Yeah, PT. Anyway. So today we're gonna be chopping it up about dying to be black. That's the name of our topic today.
Disclaimer.
Oh yeah, the disclaimer. I've almost forgot. See, we're running out of order, y'all. The disclaimer is, the opinions and views that are expressed here at the Make a Culture Move podcast do not represent Macam as a whole. So please do not hold Macam accountable for the opinions that are expressed. Here we go. He's here. Okay. But yes, y'all. Yes.
Welcome, sir.
Hello.
Okay. So yeah. It's okay. So what we getting into today? What you got for us?
Okay, so I just have, this quick article. This black mother, she created a matching game for young black girls to connect the similarities between their beauty and their brains. So go ahead and jump into that, read a little bit of it.
Okay, I'm excited about this one. Sounds interesting.
Okay. Whew.
Please excuse my tardiness.
How one black mom is helping all kids celebrate brains and beauty. Okay. ATL Georgia. Scrolling through parenting and shopping websites, entrepreneur Trudy Susan noticed a trend. Many companies lack diverse options and they rarely represented the full spectrum of ethnicities in educational toys and games. She decided to blend her deep passion for learning with her sharp business acumen to design a one-of-a-kind product. Susan recently launched the Brains and Beauty matching card game, where kids learn to embrace their natural features and respect other cultures. Okay. It's a fun and powerful twist to a classic game. We feature positive affirmations alongside gorgeous illustrations of a full spectrum of black children, says Susan, creator and founder of the Ruby Ray Society. Similar to a typical memory game, Brains and Beauty matching cards help to improve concentration and can increase short-term memory. I have that. From Intelligent
I'm just playing.
Ijoma to Mindful Michaela. The game includes 36 sturdy glossy cards that reinforce culture, character, and confidence. Kids from age 3 and up can enjoy fun rounds of matching alone or with a group of players. It's been wonderful watching the reaction videos. Parents are sending us clips of their littles opening the game for the first time. Not only are they excited to see someone who has hair like them or resembles their skin tone, but the game really gets their imagination going and takes playtime to a different level, added Susan. Parents and children alike are raving about this new addition to the toy box. We jumped right into it, and my son said, "Daddy, we are playing the most awesome game ever." My daughter pulled out cards and said, "People's names we know. Representation so matters," said Mom Busoa Atkinbo. I'm playing with tablets. Games like the Brains and Beauty matching game are an important part of early childhood education. Playtime helps kids develop language and social emotional skills. By also layering in diverse nuances, children can also gain an extra boost of culture, awareness, and confidence. Research has shown that when kids experience stereotypical images repetitively, it can influence how they see themselves and others' social roles. As a mom, you can't help but think about the kind of society you want your child to grow up in. I want my daughter to thrive in a world where she is affirmed, where she can affirm, where she's told you are lovable, you are hardworking, you are beautiful, you are smart, because it's true, said Susan. The Brains and Beauty matching game is just one way the Ruby Ray Society fulfills its mission of creating a world where underrepresented kids see themselves positively represented everywhere, especially in gifts and games. In addition to shopping for diverse learning games for children, conscious parents can also take advantage of resources and articles that can help them be more intentional.
Okay.
So yeah, y'all, the Beauty and Brains matching game.
I like that. I like that a lot. There's a part in there that I enjoyed a lot, that I kind of wanted to bring out a little bit, where she talked about when you constantly and repetitively see stereotypes, in media, social media, and things like that, it negatively impacts you because you become those stereotypes, because that's all that you've ever seen. That's the only example that's set before you of what a Black man or Black woman, Hispanic, Latino, Native American woman or man is like. So that's the stereotype that you convey, because that's all you really think that's out there for you to be. So.
Exactly. Like you said, representation so matters. It's so important and it starts early. Like you said, you have to start early. You have to start when they're young, affirming them of their worth and their intelligence and their beauty at a young early age, and steer them away from the stereotypes, because the world and society is going to place them stereotypes on us anyways. So it's like at home we need to make sure we're giving all those affirmations to our little ones.
Definitely.
100%. Just to build off what you guys have already said, I mean, it just encourages people to understand their beauty and know that it's okay to look the way that they look. For me, a lot of times in society, when they apply for jobs, go to college, anything like that, they see how someone is supposed to look, or like you hear examples of how girls have to shape their hair in a different way so it looks professional, or something is seen as unprofessional, like wearing your do-rag or wearing a pick in your hair. Like that stuff is seen as unprofessional in some cases. But doing this teaches them to not only love, who they are, but acknowledges everything that they are. If that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
I like the point that you make of like embracing who you are, because even in the college setting, because most colleges are majority white, what I'm saying. So a lot of times what ends up happening is, especially for me, I had short hair, y'all, And at first, I was really confident about wearing my braids and like my hair and stuff, and wearing it natural. But then, you know, I got to Germany and I see all these damn white people, and I'm just like, okay, so I'm not trying to stick out like a sore thumb. So the best thing for me to do is to try to blend in, whether it be by you know, straightening my hair, blow drying it, doing whatever I got to do in order to fit in. And in reality, what I had to really look inside myself and see is I'm not meant to fit in. I'm not supposed to fit into y'all bubble. We're two different types of people. I'm melanated and you the lack thereof. So, you know, it is what it is. You burn and I don't know. I don't even know where that rhymes with that. I get dark and you get spark. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But yes, we lost G for a second there, but it's all right because we're going to keep the ball rolling. So Mark has an article for us about, you know, dying. Again, going back into the topic, what we're talking about today is dying to be Black. So tell us all about that, Mark. Come on now.
So it's actually not an article. It's a YouTube segment. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. It's, you know, Alicia Keys, Beyonce, and other artists were like a part of this whole movement, and it was 4 years ago, and it was called 23 Ways to Die While Being Black. You feel me? And this was 4 years ago, and then they just released a new one like a few days ago. I want to say 4 or 5, and then it was 17 more ways to die while being Black in America. So we can start with the first one, the 23.
Okay. Let's get into it. There's so many ways to die in the United States just being Black. You can't breathe. You can't comb your hair. Exactly. You can't go outside. You can't even have mental health problems because if your parents call the police or call anybody to try to come see what's going on with you, you're likely to get gunned down in front of your home, in front of your family members. And you could just be walking down the street, minding your own business like Elijah McClain was, and just get murdered for no real reason at all. So I think that, you know, we just got to be careful with these people out here because for me personally, I'm scared to have kids out here because of what's going on. So we're just gonna go ahead. And
it definitely touches on some of the things you've already mentioned. I'll let the video play out, but it's almost like exactly as you were saying.
Yeah, crazy. Here we go.
There we go. We got G. Just so G knows, we're getting into this video, 23 Ways to Die While Being a little more than 4 years. But yeah, I mean, as you know, the video explained, you feel me, like Black people have literally died for some of the most silly instances. Like, for example, holding a fake gun in the park. You feel me? That's Tamir Rice. Hopefully you all are familiar with the story. BB gun, I believe it was painted black or was originally black, something, but I believe it had an orange tip. And that's the clear sign, like, that it's fake and non-lethal. You feel me? But still shot dead for over the assumption. I mean, what do y'all think about some of those things that we've heard?
We have to add more names to that list. Like,
there will be.
At the end, Alicia Keys said, you know, go here to tell President Obama. We're 2 presidents since then. And we have to add like 100 more names to that list because nothing changed in 2 presidencies.
Completely agree. And I think that is crazy that whether you had a real gun or not, a lot of times what happens with white police officers is they don't shoot to disarm, they shoot to kill you, to shoot you dead. So I think that when it comes to, you know, whether or not we're doing the wrong thing, and if we have an object that could or could not be a gun, at the end of the day, these people, it's never about disarming you or taking down somebody that's lethal or somebody that's actually like a lethal threat. It's always about murdering and killing people that don't look like them, because at the end of the day, they have this perpetual hatred for Black people that a lot of times we don't understand. Some Black people be taking pictures with, you know, with white men. Like, look at guys, we're friends, you know, just to show that, you know, there you go with the awkward smile with the peace fingers, you know. And I think that we just need to realize what it is out here, and that we can't actually trust these people that are sworn in to protect us, because at the end of the day, they'll never be there to protect us. And then when you say something about how we're getting killed by white people out here in these streets, being lynched, murdered, shot down, there's always that need to combat with what we're saying by saying, well, you know, black on black crime. Like, come on, man, come on. Like we're not talking about black on black crime. We're talking about what y'all are doing. And at the end of the day, yes, we do need to have those conversations about black on black crime and like loving your neighbor, your brother and sister as you love yourself, because just by simply applying that one scripture, that one commandment, a lot of stuff for our community could change. But because we have no love for one another and we don't see the greater person inside of each other, it's just we're just bound for destruction because we're mentally destroyed.
Even to add on, yeah, that's a fact. But even to add on to that, you know, police officers are trained to de-escalate. You feel me? And we've seen that when the white people rioted the Capitol. You feel me? What's the first thing that they did? They tried to de-escalate the situation. Okay, everybody, calm down. This is not the way. They're yelling and approaching the police officer. This is our America. Da 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 da, whatever the hell. And then
they had what, if it was in black people's hands, would be considered weapons. They had
pitchforks,
flags. They had forks. They had all types of shit that they were carrying. They had masks with horns. Like,
some were exercising their right to bear arms, but as we seen in the video, even with the toy gun, hello, Naya Williams, hello, thank you for joining. Freaking, what was I just saying? Oh yeah, like even with the toy guns, you feel me? We're still seen as it's just ridiculous to me.
It just kind of goes back to the black man only being 1/3 of a man.
Exactly.
They're like, you're not fully. Like, white people fight for rights that they already have. We're fighting for rights that we don't have. So at the end of the day, people be like, well, what if those were black people at the protest that were protesting at the
They would have been shot dead.
They would have been shot dead, because at the end of the day, none of those amendments or anything like that are applicable to people of color, because at the end of the day, this isn't our country. We're citizens. We're not citizens. So all the rights and stuff that we say that we have, we do not have. It kind of goes into when people be like, well, I vote because I want to make a difference in society and blah, blah, blah. Well, we've been able to vote ever since 1913. That's when the women's suffrage was, you know what I'm saying? When black women got the right to vote. You know, people be like, well, black men got to vote before white women did. At the end of the day, it still didn't matter, because they were still getting lynched by the police. I mean, not lit by the police.
You still have to take a test, a reading and writing test, when black men didn't know how to read and write because we weren't allowed to go to school. So they still have to take a test to be able to vote. And if you failed that test, you couldn't vote. So how many black men were really voting black in 1913?
Well, actually, it was like the late 1800s when black men got to vote, but it was like,
right, but still,
when black women got to vote. But even with that, all that, I think the only thing that the women's suffrage or women actually being able to vote actually did was to say that we're at the same level as the black man is. That we could see you eye to eye, because at the end of the day, we don't need you to make a change. We can make that change for ourselves. So, you know, that's kind of where that whole equality thing came from. And that's when, like, you know, just stuff started going downwards from there, especially for the black community. So, yes.
But we can segue into the next video. It's a lot more recent. Just has a lot more familiar names for us, most likely. And yeah, I mean,
just add into the list of names.
Honestly, this list is just going to continuously grow.
And it's crazy because people think that it won't grow as much with the new president and VP in office, when it's probably going to grow even rapider, at a more rapid pace, but it's gonna continue to grow.
And the thing is, we're so blind that we think that this white man's really gonna help us out. We literally
blind.
There's a whole you voted in a different oppressor. You no longer have Trump oppressing you. Now you have Biden.
The difference between Biden and Trump is that Trump is gonna let it be known out loud to the world that he don't give a damn about black people. Biden is gonna put on his KKK mask, and when he doesn't have that mask on, he's gonna pretend that he's all for the people, and then he's gonna put that mask on when, considering the laws and the policies, he's gonna put that mask on and he's not gonna be thinking about black people. That's another conversation.
True. I'm with you when you're right. So, y'all, we about to get into this other list of adding on to this list that we just went through. Again, dying to be black. We dying to live and living to die. So that's just what that is. But yes, let's get into it. I'm just kidding. I'm silly. Okay.
In 2016, we created 23 ways you could be killed by being black in America. I can't believe I'm back 4 years later with 17 more ways you can be killed.
Leaving a party, joining Edwards.
Sleeping in your home, Dominique Clayton.
Sitting in a wheelchair, Jeremy McDowell.
Riding your bike, Ronell Foster.
Suffering from a mental illness, Walter Wallace Jr.
Failing to dim your lights, Javier Amber.
Walking down the street, Elijah McClain.
At home relaxing, Botham John.
At your window, Tatiana Jefferson.
Standing in our grandmother's backyard, Stephon Clark.
Jogging, Ahmaud Aubrey. Sleeping in your car, Rayshard Brooks.
Standing by your car, Terrence Crutcher.
Driving your car, Kane Rogers.
Suffering from mental illness, Daniel Prude.
Accused of using a fake 20, George Floyd. Sleeping in your bed, Breonna Taylor.
So yeah, I mean, those are in total 40 ways to die while being black in America. There are so many other names that have slipped through the cracks. They pretty much covered the most famous ones, whether it was recorded or there was just a big uproar about it. But yeah, those are 40 ways that you can die while being black in America. What's one of those instances that stood out to you? We kind of pretty much already talked about, what we talked about previously.
I'm just gonna say this though. I don't know how some of these cases are like people that have passed have gotten by me, but I didn't know the first video. There was some that I didn't know about. This video, this one's super recent, within the last 4 years, that I have no idea of. You know what I'm saying? That I never even would have thought. You can't even be homeless. You can't even sleep in your car, and you will be murdered by the police. Like, you'll be murdered just from an unfortunate event. I think that's crazy.
It's like, you want the list to stop, but it's just like Tab was saying, there's so many names on that list that you don't know, you didn't hear. And then like Mark was saying, there's so many names that slipped through the cracks. So many names that, because it wasn't recorded or there wasn't a big uproar about it, you probably will never hear about it. And it's crazy because it's like every time it happens, every single life that gets taken, every single life deserves an uproar. Every single life that is stolen, every single soul that is stolen deserves an uproar. And I'm talking about black and brown souls. I'm not talking about white souls, right? I'm talking about our black and brown and our Hispanics and our Native Americans. I'm talking about those souls when they're stolen. right? They're stolen. When it's murder, it's a stolen life. You stole somebody's opportunity to live another day, to become a better person for themselves and their families, and for the world that we live in. You don't even know who you're killing when like the police don't even care who they're killing when they're killing us. You're killing our future lawyers and our future doctors and our future teachers and our future entertainers. You're killing our future activists. These people will never have the opportunity to walk again, to speak again, to be a blessing to somebody else's life. You took away somebody's blessing. That person that you stole their soul from was a blessing in somebody's life, and you took away that person's blessing. But you get to go home and sit around your table with your families and eat and go to bed, not with a guilty conscience. Wake up the next day, still go to work, live your life, and take another soul.
Or paid vacation.
Or paid vacation. Paid vacation. You got paid for stealing a soul, and instead of facing the uproar behind it, you get to go lavish off somewhere, hide behind a wall, instead of face the truth of reality that y'all are murderers. Cold-blooded murderers. You know the movie Zootopia? It talks about okay, so Zootopia, it's a Disney movie. It talks about the difference between prey and predators, and how predators, is in their DNA to just, to kill. It's in their DNA to be savages. It's in white people's DNA to be savages. It is in white people's DNA to kill and be terrorists. It is in their DNA to take what does not belong to them.
Just look throughout history. I mean, it's all facts.
That's all you have to do is look back at history. Look back at American history. Look back at African history. Look back at Spanish history. Look back at Asian. Look back at history. Look back at Russia. You go look back at history and see the people who come in to conquer and steal and kill and destroy. You're going to see white people at the forefront.
Exactly.
Blaming it on somebody else because they don't take accountability for shit that they do. But then we're to blame because we're so hell-bent on still talking about slavery. It's our fault because we can't get over what happened to us for hundreds of years. How the fuck is that our fault? Excuse my language. How? How is it our fault that our people is so brainwashed to be split and separated on everything that they do? Our men and our women can't come together to love one another. How is it our fault that our black men got taken out of our homes? How is that our fault that our great grandmamas and aunties got raped and molested by the white man? How is that our fault? How is it our fault that our black men, our black children got stolen from their parents? Like, nah, like real. I'm just, y'all. I know I just went on a little rant, but I can't, like, it. I'm fed up. I've had it. Like I've had it, and I've been had it. But when you see the names and you hear the names, and then there's so many names that it's like, whoa. I didn't hear about that story. Whoa, I didn't hear about that story either. Now, what happened? There's how many stories did we not hear about?
Think about those are political prisoners, people that had to take off. I forget what her name is, something Shakur, but she took off and now she's in Cuba or Colombia. I'm not sure, but it's one of the two. And they're trying to get her. Donald Trump was like trying to pay the that government money to bring her back to America to get tried, to be sentenced to death. When they said that she committed a murder that she actually did, she was like, I'm not gonna be wrongfully convicted. I got friends in high places. I'm out.
Period.
That's why.
And you know, Kevin Gates says in a song, he says, you know, I got money to buy a murder charge. Not that that's the goal, but that's the goal. Because white people do it all the time. You feel me? Like, people always talk about how white people get away with crimes. They have the money to. They are in power. They sit in power. They're the judges. They're the DAs. They're the prosecutors. They're all of that. And then they also have the money to pay off the judges, the lawyers, the DAs, the prosecutors. They get offered that stuff because they have the money to do it. White people kill and get away with it because they're the ones sitting in power.
I mean, that's why I never understood. Right. But I never understood the whole MAGA, you know, make America great again, because
it was never great.
I could never think of a time when America was great. You feel me? For the longest, the only thing we've been number one in is abortion rates and incarceration, I believe. So it's like
that.
It's like I don't understand the definition of great that they are using. But you know, all we can hope for is, you know, one, we band together, get on one accord. Because although black on black crime is a horrible excuse, you know, it's a real one. Yeah, it's a real one.
It's a real one.
We band on that accord when we really start caring about all of our people. Then that's when we could really push that agenda. And then another hope, for me at least, is that Joe Biden and the people that we elected into office and all that really sees through on some of these murders, because they are murders and just that. And then they should be tried in that same way.
Yeah, but people don't get, in my opinion, people don't stay, they don't keep that fervent passion to avenge the people that have been put to death. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, you know, George Floyd was the way for a while. You know, people are like, oh, George Floyd, people are ready to riot and do all this stuff. But it's maybe like
it was a trend. It was a trend. Like, they're taking these murders of Black lives, like the ones that get broadcasted and recorded. They're trending them out. But it's like, it's not a trend.
Whatever happened to that officer?
Yeah, I'm like, you can't trend out somebody's life. You can't trend out somebody's death.
Yeah, but
I guess sentencing does take a while, but like, I'd like to see.
Which makes no sense, because you're supposed to have a fast and speedy trial.
You have the right to it, I believe, but
this is the part that kills me, right? There's a Black woman at the protest that had punched this white woman in the face. She really nailed one in this woman's face, right? But she was all up in her face. She touched her and she said, boom, she hit her in the face, and she was fired from her job. Fired. Like, they were quick to make that judgment. But when it came,
I have that video. I'm gonna have to play it on Monday.
They were quick to pass that judgment. But when it came to the George Floyd's killer, it took time for that to actually, you know, be brought to light that this man actually murdered this man, and that he needs to be held accountable for that.
All of them do.
Because that's not how they feel about it. They don't feel that it's murder. They feel right and just in the actions that they take. They feel right and just in. It's like, I'm a police officer. I don't have to, you know, stand trial for murder because I have a license to do it.
Bro, but even for the cops that was standing there, like, in almost every situation where like a murder occurs, and then you're with that person and you just stand there, you're gonna get charges and accessory. Like, regardless,
you're just as guilty.
Exactly. Like,
you are just as guilty.
But I hope it's murder and not anything like manslaughter, anything like that. That's just gonna give him like less.
Oh, but when a police officer gets killed, my God! They were trying to put people underneath the prison. Like, what makes your life so special? Please tell me what makes your life so special. You're supposed to protect and serve, and y'all don't even do that. And if someone goes and kills y'all go under the jail.
I don't have a choice in being Black. You literally chose to be a police.
You chose to be a pig.
Like, that's crazy. That's
You
crazy.
chose that lifestyle. You chose to be a police officer. We didn't choose to be born black. It wasn't our choice. It was our blessing. It was our blessing to be born black. It was your curse to be born white. And you cursed yourself even more by choosing to be a police officer.
And I completely agree with everything you just said. But segue, I guess we got one last thing, and
I just threw a discussion question in there. I was listening to Lauryn Hill's Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And at the very end, you know, they have a brief discussion about what is love. So we'll play that and then we could talk about it.
what is the difference between love? I love that. I love the end of that movie. I mean, the end of that song.
Me too.
They're talking about the difference in between being in love and
being in love and loving. What is the difference of loving and being in love? And can you love somebody and not be in love with them?
I think so. I think you can love somebody and not be in love with that person.
Absolutely.
Because I love my sisters, right? But I could never be in love with them because they too crazy for me.
Period. And that's real. Like, I love my brothers, but I'm not in love with my brother. Like, I will kill them. You know, like, you want to kill somebody you're in love with. Play the end of the song because they hit it home. They hit it home every time, and you know, this new generation don't even know nothing about Lauryn.
Oh, I love Lauryn Hill. Okay,
that's my cousin, y'all.
Cute. How cute.
Yeah, I love the end of that song just cause. But yeah, you know, like they were saying, like there's that difference that, but like, cause we're supposed to love, right? We're supposed to love everybody. We're supposed to give love, shower love. You know, we're supposed to give love. We're supposed to love. We're supposed to be loving human beings, right? And as Black people, it's natural for us. We naturally love. We just know how to show love and know how to shower love, you know, and it's shown in many different forms, but we know how to do it. We know how to give love. I think that slavery has caused Black people to forget how to love and the true definition of love, because you see nowadays, like, so many people are brought up without it and don't know how to receive it or don't know how to give it, and not proper love. You feel me? Like, we don't know what like proper love is, like, you know, like that agape love. Like, nobody knows how to truly give that agape love, like that unconditional, no boundaries, no limit love. Like, you feel me? It's only God can give that type of love. But you can love somebody and not be in love with them. To be in love with somebody, I think that's like, with me, I think you have different soulmates in life. Like, you have different soulmates. You have, you know, your partner that you're supposed to be with for life. That's a soulmate. It's a soul that you connected with, and y'all have to be in love with each other. You have to be able to take each other for better, for worse, good, bad, see each other through all different lives, all different chapters of life, because if you're really growing in life, you're becoming a different person. You're not the person you was at 18, you should not be that same person at 28. The person you was at 28, you should not be that same person at 38. You feel me? Like, you should be growing and changing as you evolve. And to be in love with somebody, you have to be able to love them through all of those phases and all of those changes and all of those ups and downs. And that's what's really hard. That's what's really hard. Accepting somebody for their flaws. Accepting, it's easy to love somebody, you know, who you don't fight, you don't argue, they don't get on your nerves, right? But somebody who you fight with, you argue with, they challenge your mindset, they challenge you to be a better person. That's love. Somebody who challenges you to really be better, to look within yourself and bring out those negative aspects and flip them to positive aspects. That's somebody who loves you. Somebody who will see you got a booger in your nose, but ain't gonna say nothing.
I don't know. That's
don't care about you. Yeah, they don't care about you. They don't care about you. But if I see you got a booger in your nose and I say something like, "Hey, get that," or I pass you a tissue, you got some booger in, you got a booger in your nose, get that. I don't want your boogers drooling out your nose. That's love. You got something in your teeth when you talking, and somebody just let you talk and you got spinach or something in your teeth or whatever, and they don't say nothing to you. That's not love.
I'll say this though, because I do want to touch on this topic, you know.
Yes, go ahead.
But I think the love that our parents have for us is like a unconditional type love. You know what I'm saying? No matter what we do, no matter what we say, there's nothing too far-fetched that we could do or say that our parents wouldn't love us unconditionally for. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that love isn't always articulated or expressed the right way, but you know that your parents' heart is always in the right place. You know what I'm saying? And it's very rare that there's a parent that doesn't love their kids, you know, unconditionally. But is a parent in love with their children? Absolutely not. I think it's different. So, but this is what I want to say about being in love. Because there's been times in my life where I thought that I was in love with somebody and I thought that it was never going to end. And that, you know, this is it. This is it. This is the one. This is the one I'm going to marry. This is the one I'm going to have kids with. This is the one. But then you meet someone else who gives you that exact same feeling. But you're like, okay, but are you that doubt?
Are you the one?
That doubt starts to seep in. Like, are you the one? Do you have the best interest for me? And all that. But then when you actually meet the one, you know what I'm saying? The person that...
It's not a question.
It's not a question. It's not a question at all. Like, you see all the signs, the negative signs that were displayed in the other relationships that you were in, that you kind of just ignored, that you gave a blind eye to, because you're like, I want to be.
You thought you were in love.
I'm accept this person because you think that love is accepting, you know, all this
behaviors,
all these negative behaviors, all their flaws. But then you meet somebody who, you know, realizes that they have flaws, and they're letting you know, like, I'm trying to overcome this, but I want to overcome it with you, and I want to be with you, and I don't want to be with anybody else, and you know, I want to wait until we get married to even, you know, for the cookie, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because you're worth waiting for. That's love right there, y'all. I'm sorry, but that's love. Somebody that is willing to take their time with you and really get to know you, and that shows that they're really down for you. Because some niggas in the world, they're like, if you don't give up the draws in the first 3 months, like, I'm gone. I'm not dealing with.
Let him be gone. Let him be gone. If that's the case, let him be gone. Like, let him go. What did Mark say?
Don't mind me.
He said, I'm gonna repeat what he said. He said them 90-day rules, and then he made a noise. He said, there you go, that one.
It's real, like, I don't know. Like, I agree with Tab 100% on that. I agree with Tab 100% on that. Like, someone who is willing to love you sapiosexually first, That's important. We gonna ignore Mark and his foolery. Okay.
Listen, I really mac him out here though. You feel me? You feel me? I don't know. The way I'd like to approach this question is a lot of people love what you do for them, or a lot of people love what they do for you. You feel me? I feel like a lot of people base their love off that. Like, oh, he got me
conditions.
Yeah, like, oh, he got me a Birkin, he must love me for real. Like,
I never seen a Birkin, so
really? That's interesting. But like, yeah, you see, and then, you know, I've seen situations where, you know, they take him on a few days. Oh, he spent his money on me, he must love me for real. And then you really see that toxicity, like after, you know, they end up having intercourse or anything like that. So yeah, I think a lot of the times what we identify as love, we use like material objects to really weigh that. But it's definitely like what Tabitha and you were saying, you feel me? You know, you should be able to tell when somebody loves you, like even throughout all the material aspects and things like that. You feel me? Like if they're willing to wait, if they're not caring about sex, if they're not looking to move in with you right away, or asking for your money or things like that. You feel me? There's ways to show your love. There's ways to be loved without that material aspect. And yeah, that's just
exactly. And it's like you think about like this, like if marriage is the goal, right? When you get married to your partner, would you still love your partner if y'all lost everything? Would you still be able to be with that person if y'all lost everything? Because that's love. When you could be with somebody and y'all lose everything that y'all have, but you still be with that person and stand by each other's side and find a way together to come up and get back what you lost. Because somebody who doesn't love you, when you lose everything, they're gonna go find somebody who got it all and gonna leave you, and not care if you come back up or not. That's somebody who's with you for what you got, not for who you are. Find somebody who loves you for who you are.
Exactly.
In all seasons of life. You can't just love me when I'm doing good in life. You can't just support me when I'm doing good in life. You can't, and that's all relationships. That's not just intimate relationships. That's all relationships. You can't just want to be a part of my life when I'm doing good in it, or when I have successes and when I have victories. If you can't be a part of my life where I'm experiencing failures and I'm experiencing downfalls and I'm experiencing hardship and I'm losing myself and I need help and I don't have it all together, if you can't be a part of my life and love me, then I don't even want you to be around and love me when I'm succeeding and I'm doing good and I'm on top and I'm doing great things. Like, I don't even want you around, because where were you when I needed you? When I was struggling, when I needed somebody to lean on, and you could have been that person, you weren't there.
Damn, that kind of speaks to what happened to me this morning, right? Wow. So my little sisters called me. This is the thing about my little sisters, right? My sister Shapri will call me just to check in and see what's going on. My baby sister Sophie, she'll call me when she needs something. So she called me today and she's like, man, I just want to kill myself. And she was like, she doesn't have no food, she doesn't have this and that. So I ended up, you know, because I know how my sisters are. I know if I send them money, how they're gonna be. So I got an Instacart. I told her to send me a list of all the things that she needs, and I will get it for her, and I'll get the groceries delivered to her house. So I do that, and it's kind of like now, but even after all that, she's still messaging me talking about she wants to kill herself and all this stuff. Like, you like dude, like, you have all these, you have 3 kids, number one. If those aren't 3 reasons to live right there, then I don't understand. I don't understand. But not only that, but you have people that are here to support you and here to talk to you and here to get you through whatever situation that may arise. The reason why you don't call me, though, me personally, and this goes into that love piece, The reason why you don't call me is because you know that because I actually do love and care for you. I'm not gonna always be like, oh well, you know, come here. Oh, it's on there. That's not the approach I'm gonna take. You're gonna get that hard love. Exactly. This is what you need to do in order to get out of this situation. I got resources for you. I literally had to tell her, like, look, dude, next, I'm gonna help you find next time. This is the last time I'm bailing you out like this.
She's a single parent.
She's a single parent, and she did that to herself. Cause look, I've been trying to tell my sisters for the longest, keep your legs closed, man. But the thing is, this man that's like a social media influencer said, he said, black men, I'm talking to y'all because these black women legs closed. Listen, he said, let's just be honest, they're not gonna keep their legs closed. So what y'all need to do is keep it in your pants, because at the end of the day, if that's not a more real thing, I don't know what to say. We're not it took everything for me to just be like, look, I gotta keep it together. Because there's times back in the past where I was like, I'm gonna be celibate, I'm not gonna do X, Y, and Z. Guess what? My silly ass always ended up doing something with somebody that I knew I didn't have no business doing it with.
I mean, and just another aspect of that, you feel me? Why if her sister was a single mother, is she's bringing her children up like knowing what it is to be unloved, you feel me? And I feel like definitely having that 2-parent household, you feel me, a man and a woman, you're teaching them
it's important.
They're supposed to act. 2, I said A and 2, A and B, B, how a man is supposed to act, and then you really
how they're supposed to coincide together.
Exactly, and love one another, so that when they finally meet that person that they feel like, oh, I'm in love with, they notice those red flags a lot easier. Well, oh, my mom and dad did this in that situation, but he did that. Oh, that can't be love, or something like that. You feel me? So I just think that's a big piece portion. I don't know what word I was gonna say there. That's a big aspect of that love and being loved part.
It is a big. It's like how do we teach each other how to receive proper love? Because like if we know how to identify what proper love is, how do we then teach each other how to receive that proper love? Because it's like, I know people I can name who grew up and don't without proper love, not knowing what proper love is. People who look at our generation, they think it's okay for a dude to baby mom her and 2 other females and come back and forth in between their homes. That's not love. That's not okay. That's not proper love. You got people who think it's proper love to be talked down to, and no, it's not okay that in the Black community that we glorify, hey ugly, what's up ugly, oh what's up stupid. No, our affirmations need to change. Hey beautiful, hey handsome,
face ass.
We have all these negative names that we have accepted as okay in the Black community. All these negative names that we've accepted as okay in the Black community. And that's, one of the reasons why we can't come up. We have to build each other up verbally with a word starting young. Teaching love young. Teaching love young. Like the lady, with the card game, the matching card game, instill those affirmations young. Mm-hmm. It's important. It's important that we know how to give love. It's important that we know how to show love. It's important that we know how to receive love. Because living with a hateful heart is not gonna get anybody anywhere, right? It's not. How can we hate and grow at the same time and be better, and the goal is to become one, build the community and have the community love each other.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
And just because it's on my mind, you feel me? Just going back to these parent stuff, you feel me? You feel me? Like for the fathers, like you gotta be there, especially for your daughters and your your daughters and your sons, because like if you're not giving them that game, like somebody who doesn't have their best interest is gonna give them that game. And that's only gonna further
Exactly.
You feel me?
Exactly. Where is the love coming from? And we have to, you cannot like it's so important, especially in families, right? You cannot just love on somebody when they're doing good. You like if a family member is having problems, you need to adopt those problems as your own and help them figure out how to get out of those and get out of that problem. If you know answers, if you have resources and you have answers to help them get out of a situation, you don't push them off, right? But now if they don't ever want to help themselves, because you have to help people who want to help themselves. So if they don't want to help themselves, you can't keep helping them 10 and 20 times and they never want to help themselves. You got to teach them how to help themselves, show them how they're demeaning themselves by not even wanting to help themselves. But I think, one of the biggest things in the Black community is that family members turn their back on family members. And it's like our guest was saying last night, our Miss Young was saying last night, like, that's not the thing to do. You shouldn't turn your back on family members. We have so many broken families and so many people who don't even know who their family is, because when times get hard, families don't want to support one another.
And it always ends off some petty stuff too.
Always on some petty stuff. Something that can be fixed and overcame easily.
By communicating and apologizing. That's another aspect.
Yeah, that's love.
Hey,
that's love. Communicating and apologizing.
Money though. Call me for advice. Don't call me when you need money, because I ain't gonna help you. My sister said that. She was like, we don't call you when we need anything because you always say no. I'm like, good. She's like, I only call you when I need advice. Okay.
Good, because I could give that.
I could be an ear, but I cannot keep giving y'all money because it enables y'all to do.
I can show you how to get some money. I can show you how to get some money in legal, prosperous ways. Because if you love somebody, you're not going to set them up on an illegal path. They're going to show them legal ways to make money so they don't get themselves caught up in the system,
right,
and become another statistic.
Right.
You show them how to get some money. Don't call me for no money because I can't give it to you, but here's what I can do for you. Have you ever filled out a job application? No, let me help you and show you how. So next time you can do it on your own.
But even outside of family, like I've been approached by like homeless people, and like, they ask me, oh, can you give me this and that? Like I was at Taco Bell or something like that, and I had got them like 5 tacos. It was really cheap. And then I walked back out with the tacos, and then they looking at me like what is this? I'm like, well, like what, you don't want to eat? And they're like, nah, I wanted money. I'm like, well,
beggars can't be choosers.
I'm like,
beggars can't be choosers.
For real, because like that's a whole other aspect.
Yeah, I heard this lady speak one time. She said, when people ask her for money, she said, I can't give you no money. Now I can, like, if they, especially asking for a specific amount, I can't give that to you, but I can find it in my heart to bless you. And if I'm going to bless you, I get to choose how much I'm going to bless you with. I don't want you to pay me back because I don't give loans. I'm not a bank. I don't give loans. But if you need how much you need, if I find it in my heart to bless you, I will bless you, but I will choose how much I bless you with. And I thought that was the realest thing ever. Because, yeah, I could bless you if I have it to do so, but I can't just give it to you.
I can't help you. When people, like, they'll be like, ma'am, do you got any spare change?
I don't give the homeless
I don't have any change, sir. I get in my car and say, I don't have any change for you.
I don't give to homeless. My grandpa was one of the biggest homeless hustlers of Denver, Colorado. And because of him, I don't give to homeless people. I have seen homeless people get money and go get into nice fancy cars. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen homeless people trade off their dirty pair of kicks and take out a backpack and have some nice fresh Jordans on their feet. I've seen it with my own eyes. I don't give homeless people money, but I can go take you to this job fair. I don't mind. I'll give you a ride to a job fair.
I used to wear
I bought a
busted.
meal.
I recently threw away my busted Converse because I was getting clowned on for them. But I wore busted shoes so that when I'm out and about, homeless people look at my shoes and be like, damn, she's going
She
through.
can't help.
We
She can't help.
And it puts you on like that. It humanizes you because a lot of Black people, you know what we do? We strive to, even though we may be down and out, we still have the freshest shoes on, the freshest fit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we obsessed with looking.
Because we have that stigma, we have to look nice. If we don't look nice, then you feel me, we gonna get clowned on and this, that, and the third. When change your goals. Have goals to own land, right? Have goals to be a homeowner. Have goals to have cars that you own that you can pass down to your seeds. Buy some fucking land. Go buy some land somewhere.
Yeah.
Instead of every single pair of Jordans that come out, y'all making Michael Jordan richer, and he already rich.
Exactly. But I believe this will be the conclusion of our podcast. I just want to say thank you to all the people that are viewing with us, watching with us. We still encourage you all to dialogue with us. That'll make just a better podcast for all. But just a brief overview. You know, we talked about the matching games with our Black people, you know, encouraging them young to love their self and learn about them.
Match it up.
All right. Then we talked about the 40 ways to die
40.
in America while being Black.
40 shots.
All right. You know, some of those instances we were unfamiliar with. Now that just makes you think about what about the instances that we haven't heard of. And then we ended off with our discussion question. What's the difference between being loved what's the difference between love and being in love? And then we conclude our podcast with asking you to please follow us on all of our social media platforms. Macam Make a Culture Move, Make a Chess Move. Instagram, Macam303. Our Twitter, Macam303.
We even got a Pinterest now.
That's crazy. Please cop our merch. I don't have any on at the moment. That's unfortunate.
None of us do.
Face masks, hats, sweaters. We're coming out with hoodies, a whole outfit, like a whole 2-piece. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. I'm sorry. Please follow us on YouTube as well. Subscribe to us. And with that, y'all Mac 'em out there.
Y'all Mac 'em out there.
Appreciate y'all.
Okay. Bye, Gadio.
Yes,
I'm just
sir.
kidding.